Our last video, you saw this, where she presses the button and it puts her in some new realm or whatever that is. We found out what it is. You lot been saying in the comments. Nubbin. And this is the trailer or something like that.
Here are some places Nubbin can take you. Explore nearly forgotten memories.
Mad.
Star in classic movies.
Mad.
Play the most immersive games ever
Mad.
known. Explore endless galaxies.
Mad.
Revisit old loves.
Mad.
And even find new ones.
Mad. You can actually buy it. There's a website and everything.
Can take you.
Nubin.
Explore.
Revelation 13, verse 16. And he caused it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. First, I want to say, call Allah, all glory, honor, and praise is due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And as you can see in that video, you can see the gradualism, they're gradually making, especially with Neuralink, Elon Musk says Neuralink, his brain implants, they're making it a regular thing to look at. That's what they're doing. It's called gradualism. They're making the MOTB, the RFID micro C hip, to be more well known. Instead of just fully just putting it out there in the beginning with no steps leading up to it. But I want to go to the definition of gradualism. A policy of gradual reform rather than sudden change or revolution. So I'm going to read biology. The hypothesis that evolution proceeds chiefly by the accumulation of gradual changes in contrast to the punctualist model. So basically, what they're doing here, they're taking their time and they're letting the public, the mass, get used to seeing people with implants in their hands and in their foreheads. That's what these elites, Esau, Edom, so-called white men, the elites on the top are doing. They have this in other countries as well, and they have it in stores already with the, scanning your hand with a micro C hip and to buy things. They already have that. They already have the technology here, basically. But right now, there's this, they're using gradualism. So when it comes out, it's not going to be a surprise to the masses. They're going to be expecting it. And I want to go to gradual. Having steps or ridges from medieval Latin gradualis, from Latin gradus, a step climbed, a step towards something, a degree of something, rising by stages. Okay, so basically, they're taking steps until the real RFID micro C hip, the MOTB, the real thing happens. They're taking steps all the way to the real thing. They're just not going to put the real thing out there on the first get-go, on the first step. Now, it's going to take multiple steps to get to that MOTB RFID micro C hip. They're going to take their time and let the public get used to this. So when all hell's breaking loose, that people will run to it and not be, questioning it. 2 Ezra 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning, for as all that is made in the world hath the beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So right now, as a hopeful elect, we're supposed to be measuring the time diligently and, seeing where we are at in our prophecy. And we know we're right at the point where Jacob's trouble can start like any day. We know that we're at that point. We can start any day in a couple of months. I'm just speaking as a man. Could be all the way up to a year or two. I don't know. Yahweh Hashem can do on his timing. But we know we're going to see it in our lifetime. It's not going to be no 1,000 years. No way. The signs of the end are here. And the prophecies are jumping off the pages. So the Messiah, Yahweh is going to return in our lifetime, this lifetime. And Babylon the Great, America, will get judged in this lifetime by ICBM missiles. And, the MOTB, the RFID, micro C-HIP will be made mandatory in this lifetime that we're in right now. So basically, we're saying, it's soon. We're measuring time diligently. The prophets, the hopeful elect, they're measuring the time diligently. And they're seeing that, the kingdom is soon to come. It's literally soon to come. We're right there, basically. But we're just waiting for more prophecies to fulfill. 2 Ezra 15, verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So when all hell is breaking loose, people are not going to fear the government. They're going to be going against the government, and the government's going to be going against the people. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. So yeah, a man's going to be desired to go into the city, but he can't. Because why? Martial law checkpoints. In the martial law, they're going to check to see if you have the RFID micro C-HIP, in your hand or your forehead, anywhere in your body. If you don't have it, they're going to, take you to their FEMA camps, fuck you up and then kill you. Ultimately, that's what they're going to do to you if you don't take the C-HIP. The MOTB micro C-HIP. Verse 18, for because of their pride the cities shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy the houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So during this time of Jacob's trouble, all hell breaking loose, people are going to be looking for a solution. And they're going to think the MOTB, the RFID micro C-HIP will be the solution, but as it says in the scriptures, it won't. Those who put their trust in Egypt, spiritual Egypt, which is talking about America, they'll be disappointed. There's gonna be people that take that MOTB, RFID micro C-HIP and still starve to death. They become missile food because you can't trust this devil, as it says in scriptures. Never trust thine enemy. Never trust Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, or any of the heathen nations. Only supposed to trust Yahweh Shema Shai. That's it. Because a lot of people are going to get deceived, especially 2/3 of our own people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the chosen people of Yahweh Shema Shai. 2/3 of our own people get deceived and take it and be disappointed because they trusted in spiritual Egypt, aka America. This is Revelation 14, verse 9. This is what happened to those that take the MOTB, RFID micro C-HIP during Jacob's trouble. Verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascended forever and ever. And they have no rest, day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever received the mark of his name. So if you take the RFID micro C hip, the MOTB, during Jacob's trouble, you're going to feel the full wrath of Yahweh Shem Shai, in the lake of fire, where America will be turned into a lake of fire by ICBM missiles, with 200 plus million ICBM missiles hitting Babylon the Great, America. You'll be a part of that judgment if you take it. And it's not going to be forever, but Yahweh Shem Shai can make it feel like forever, because that he has that type of power. So you're supposed to fear Yahweh Shem Shai and not take it. Because take it, this is going to be your judgment, full wrath from Yahweh Shem Shai by those ICBM missiles. This is Revelation 16, verse 2. And this is, before, if you take the MOTB, RFID micro C hip, before you get put in the lake of fire, you're going to receive a gruesome sores. For Revelation 16, verse 2, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. So before you even go into the lake of fire, with the ICBM missiles hitting America, you're going to get a sword from the MOTB RFID micro C hip, because all that radiation that's inside of you, that's emitting inside of your body, you're going to get sores. So that's another judgment that you're going to get from taking this MOTB RFID micro C hip. Revelation 15, verse 1, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. So if you don't take this MOTB, and you endure to the end, like Yahweh Shai said, the Messiah said, those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. If you endure to the end, even if it means you have to die for this shoot, you will be delivered and you'll be saved from the destruction of Babylon the Great, of the lake of fire with those ICBM missiles. And, such the destruction that's coming upon the world, mainly to Babylon the Great and Israel, But, nukes are going to be shooting off everywhere. But the whole world's not going to be destroyed. Mainly all of Babylon the Great, all of America, every inch of America will be destroyed. And if you overcome and you don't take that MOTB, RFID micro C hip, and you endure all the way to the end, you will be able to witness all the destruction from above. As you get beamed up to the chariot, you're in the chariot, now you're seeing all the destruction going, you're seeing it from a bird's eye point of view. You get to look at the destruction and see the downfall of your enemies on the earth while you're sipping wine with the Yahweh Shai up in the air celebrating because you endured to the end. Revelation 20, verse 4, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. So, there's going to be martyrs in this shoot. But if you're a martyr, it's all good, because as it says in the scriptures, the dead will rise first. You'll get a first seat up in the chariots if you die for Yahushua Mashiach. Verse 5, but the rest of the dead will live not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is he that had part in the first resurrection. On such the second death had no power, but they shall be priests of the Most High and of Mashiach, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. So the hopeful elect that endures to the end, they're going to be part of first resurrection. And, that's a blessing to be part of first resurrection because you don't have the taste of the second death. And you don't have to be reborn again as a baby. You get to be part of first resurrection, as an adult, of your version right now as an adult. You don't have to restart over as a baby. You just, whoop, you get beamed up. Whether dead or alive, you get beamed up. And, you're chilling, have that new immortal body, man. So, for real, blessed is he that is part of that first resurrection, and Lord willingly, me making this video and you watching this video, we be part of that first resurrection. We be part of that number, that hopeful number, the hopeful elect, that there's the end. With that, I want to say, call Allah, all glory, honor, and praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach and rule well. I want to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect out there. And with that, Lord willingly, I pray that was an edifying lesson. And with that, I want to say shalom.